I'm going to preview the Baylor versus Kansas State women's volleyball games, and it's because it's two back-to-back games. October 5th at 7 p.m. Central Time with ESPN Plus or live stats, and then the next day, October 6th, 7 p.m. Central, and the times are Central Time. So, and then it's also on ESPN Plus as well. I do not know where Baylor will be ranked at right now. I don't, because they lost 3-2 to Iowa State in the first match, but then they swept Iowa State the next day. So, but I know there are other upsets along the way and other results that could definitely help Baylor to keep where they're at, potentially. I don't know. Now, what are some players to keep an eye on for Kansas State? Liz Gregorski, number 1. A 5'11" outside hitter. That's a senior. 47 kills on 188 attempts with 26 attacking errors, 10 assists, 17 service aces, 11 service errors, 13 receiving errors, which ties the team. 72 digs, 9 blocks, only 2 of those are solo and 2 blocking errors. Aaliyah Carter, number 2. 5'10" outside hitter / opposite. That's a senior as well. 153 kills on 437 attempts, which is the most on the team, with 73 attacking errors, 6 assists, 15 service aces, 12 service errors, 13 receiving errors, which is the most on the team, 94 digs, 23 blocks, 2 of those are solo, 3 blocking errors, 2 ball handling errors. The next player to keep an eye on is KD Fernholz, Fernholz. I apologize for that mispronunciation potentially. 6'1" middle blockers / opposite. That's a senior. 52 kills on 120 attempts, 16 attacking errors, 2 assists, 18 digs, 26 blocks, 5 of those are solo, 3 blocking errors, 1 ball handling error. Ania Clinton, number 5. 6'2" outside hitter outside hitter / opposite. That's a redshirt freshman. 101 kills, which is second most on the team, on 262 attempts with 45 attacking errors, 3 assists, 2 service errors, 3 receiving errors, 14 digs, 26 blocks. Only 2 of those are solo, and 3 blocking errors. And then I'm going to scoot down. I'm going to go down to stats, down the line here, because the next 3 players statistically are not worth mentioning. Shaylee Myers, number 14. 6 foot opposite hitter / outside hitter / opposite. That's a sophomore. 78 kills on 256 attempts with 34 attacking errors, 1 assist, 1 service error, 1 receiving error, 9 digs, 23 blocks, 6 of those are solo, and 3 blocking errors. And I forgot to mention one other player prior to this, and that's Lauren Hinkle, number 12. 5'9" setter, that's a senior. 1 kill on 5 attempts, 96 assists, which is second most on the team. 4 service aces, 14 service errors, 65 digs, 4 ball handling errors. That's all on that. Now, Izzy Skulowski, I totally butchered it, and I apologize in advance. WSKI, number 15. A 5'7" setter, that's a junior. 23 kills on 52 attempts with 5 attacking errors, 344 assists, 14 service aces, 15 service errors, 119 digs, 17 blocks, 1 of those are solo, 2 blocking errors, 3 ball handling errors. Cindy Boland, Boulding, number 16. 6'5" middle blocker, that's a grad senior. "79 kills on 172 attempts with 4 assists, 13 service aces, 12 service errors, 1 receiving error, 33 digs, 69 blocks, which is the most on the team by far, and 8 of those are solo. 4 blocking errors, 2 ball handling errors." I'm going to mention this next player only because of 24 sets played this year, and it's Brenna Schmidt, number 18. 6'6" middle blocker, that's a sophomore. 33 kills on 66 attempts. 4 of those are attacking errors, 1 assist, 5 digs, 19 blocks, 2 of those are solo, 1 blocking error, 1 ball handling error. The last player that I'm going to mention, and I'm going to put the stats and the roster in the description below so y'all can see it prior, is Mackenzie Morris, number 20. 5'7" libero, that's a senior. 1 kill on 4 attempts, 1 attacking error, 43 assists, 12 attacking errors. 12 service aces, 19 service errors, 10 digs, 10 receiving errors, 215 digs. That's it. So yeah, I'm going to say this up front. You got to be more consistent and have not only good starts, start strong, but finish strong as well. And obviously, you want to try to get the Kansas State out of system. And by the way, Kansas State is 2-2 in the conference, and their conference losses are to Cincinnati and TCU. But they also beat TCU 3-2, and they beat West Virginia. But West Virginia is one of the worst teams in the conference. So I'm just saying that right now. And they're 8-5 overall. And while Baylor is 1-2 in the conference, yeah, because they only played 1 game against BYU, and they lost that first match to Iowa State. And they had a 2-1 lead after losing the first set. They won the next 2, and they had a lead in the fourth. Let that go. And they lost that set, and then the fifth, Iowa State just took over. But the next day, Baylor won 3-9. They got revenge. And I will say this for Baylor here: do not overlook this opponent. And I get that you shouldn't anyway, but look, you have lost to 2 unranked teams this year. Iowa State is one of them, and SMU is another. I'm telling the truth. And you need to find a way to get yourself going in the rankings here, because you do not need to lose any more ranked teams on the schedule here. And these 2 games are winnable. They're both at home. Obviously, you got to make adjustments during the match for both of these, and of course, you want to correct what you did in from match 1 to match 2. And come up with a better game plan. I would also say you try to get more blocks than the opponent. You got to reduce your errors, especially your service ones. That's kind of what hurt Baylor in that first match. When you look at the stats, that's what hurt them in that match. And you got to be more consistent. And the good news is, in both those matches, you had Kendall Stowers back. That helps. Of course, you want to limit your errors across the board. Like I said, you got to dig every ball. You got to out-hustle, and try to find a way to get the ball over the net without getting like 4 touches and a double hit. That's the truth. And you don't want to have overpasses. And you got, because that way the opponent could just potentially say, okay, we're going to take advantage of it. And of course, if that happens to Kansas State, sometimes you got to take advantage of it on your own end. You got to have crisp passing, because it really helps in this sport here. And it's like, and you got to communicate who got ball when it comes to digs and stuff, because you don't want to have a situation where neither one of them calls it for it, and they just run into each other, or neither one of them goes after it. I mean, and of course, you're going to try to stay in system as much as possible. And of course, you got to have a good transition offense. But that, like, and of course, you want to vary it out because you don't want to be so predictable. And of course, you got to catch on to tendencies for Kansas State. I mean, that's the truth. And you try to shut down those best players for Kansas State as much as possible in terms of kills. I mean, I'm just telling the truth because you don't want to let those best players go off on you. I mean, Iowa State let Iowa State in that first match, one player with over 20 kills, but the next day you shut her down. So obviously you got to take care of business there. And this, like I said, are 2 games, and I get the conference record doesn't look good for Baylor right now. But I also say they played 3 road games, and thank goodness they have the next 2 at home. These 2 against Kansas State, and I get that go on the road to Cincinnati, but they should beat Cincinnati after this, and they got even UCF at home. So I think that does help. So I'm just saying the next 4 out of 6 are at home. And all those, and I get UCF might be receiving votes or maybe potentially ranked down the line. But I'm just saying you got to protect your home court. And don't let them come in and think they're going to come back on you and beat you. I mean, I'm just telling the truth because that's what happened to Purdue yesterday when they played at home against an unranked opponent. I'm telling the truth, and even Florida lost to Texas A&M. That was in the top 5, and Louisville did too. So I'm not sure that Louisville match was on the road or at home, but you get the point. If you are up 2 sets to none, put them away in the third and don't allow them to get any confidence to gain back into the match. And of course, like I said, you gotta get them out of system, and you gotta get blocks on them. And of course, you want the other team not to block you as much. You try to be smart about that. And of course, you gotta make adjustments on the fly. And obviously, I know Ron McGuire and staff are looking at the film and see what they need to correct from these past 2 matches against Iowa State and translate it to these 2 matches here. And obviously, what happens in the first match against Kansas State, you gotta be better the following match. In addition, they're probably looking at film at what's the strengths for Kansas State and what can we do to take those away. I'm being serious. And of course, don't allow, like, you gotta be really good on side outs as well in terms of like percentage on serving and try to get some points and get like a scoring run going and make Kansas State call timeout. You know, so you don't want Kansas State to do that to you. I mean, you gotta have good side out percentage throughout the match. I mean, I'm just telling the truth. And you gotta be consistent. Because I know Ron McGuire did say after that last win that it was a good response for us in day 2. I thought we were a lot more consistent. Even though serving was rough in the first day, we studied out in the last 2. Yeah, you gotta be better in serving. Our passers did the exceptional job. I thought we were able to side out very well. Avery did a great job moving the ball around. Some early kills by Andrews Manuel. Bimbembe stayed very relevant, and all the pins hit a high clip and were really productive. There are areas we can get better at, but on the road it's good to get a 3-0 sweep. And Big 12 is really competitive this year, so I thought we took a step forward growing up the season. I'm looking forward to the next opponent. So yeah, it's good to you gotta hit a high clip like he said, and don't let Kansas State do that as well. I know, like, attacking areas for Kansas State, of course, if those happen. Of course, you want to try to draw overpasses on Kansas State. And if it comes to a situation where it's like a Kansas State players try to get the one-on-one battle, like when the ball is up in the air at one point in the match, try to win that one-on-one battle and put the ball on the other side of the net, and don't let Kansas State do that to you necessarily. And even Kendall Stower said after yesterday, like, we're going at it. We were all going at it after yesterday's match, saying we are not feeling like this again, and try to fix all the things we couldn't do right the match before, and tried to complete it today. We looked at film from yesterday, and we had way too many missed serves, and that was one thing we were not going to let happen again, because that's too many free points for the other team. And on top of that, they were really attacking our block yesterday, and just getting points by hitting our hands. So we came into the gym and said we're not going to get tools that many times, because our defense is way too good to let blocks go off the block. Balls just go off the block. So we were focused on getting our hands over the net and just killing their hitters on everything. Yeah, I concur. I mean, you don't. If the defense is that good, you gotta get your hands above the net, and don't want them to attack your hands necessarily and just do that. I mean, I'm just saying that. And I'm gonna also address something going forward. I know somebody was not happy that I called out that one person about the Baylor got lucky on UCF on a comeback win. And look, I rarely call out a comment, period, on X. And I apologize for that, and I rarely do it. But going forward, I am not going to say anything on X about a certain comment at all. I'm just going to let it roll off my back. And if I really want to tell somebody about it, I'm just going to DM that person instead. So that way y'all don't see it. And I just wanted to address that too. So anyways, if you like this content, hit like and subscribe, and see you guys later on the road to 600 subscribers now. Let's go.